Welcome back to episode 2 of the KBA, quote unquote, the NBA reset. And before we get into it, we've got some news. This is a temporary thing. This is something that where we could rebrand if somebody, finds a better logo, makes a better logo, something like that. But for right now, we have our logo. It's a simple just a simple logo stating what the league is. Every league has it. We had to have our own, so this is what we're starting off with. Again, it is not final. If we find something better, somebody either share it to me or say something and it will be noted and it will be taken into consideration. But last episode we filmed our first season. The Los Angeles Lakers were um were our NBA champions. They had a pretty dominant run to where I think they went 16 and 0. I believe they went 16 and 0. They beat the Celtics in the finals, and we are going to get into our first off season. Here's our player retirements. Good job on a great career, Mark Farrell. You didn't play a single second, and you are from Spain. Have fun in retirement. Um, that's a name that Mark Farrell, man. We're gonna in 15 episodes when we are in the maybe 2008 season. I'm gonna say, who knows who Mark Farrell is, and some people are gonna be super confused. But again, before we get too deep, make sure you like and subscribe. Again, comment any suggestions, whether it's a trade, whether it's something we can add to the league or anything. I'm looking at all suggestions, and make sure you share it with people so they can be a part of the KBA journey. Staff retirements, nothing really crazy there. Here is how the league, changes. It gets up to date. Historic changes. So a player fouled in transition with a clear path to the basket receives 2 free throws and possession of the ball. Obviously, a clear path foul. MB team branding. The San Diego Clippers are now the LA Clippers. The uniforms for the Jazz change, and the uniforms for the Pacers change. So nothing too big. I know this logo, by the way, the KBA logo is taking up a little bit more room than just the generic Hoops All In logo. We'll get that fixed at some point, but for temporary, this is what our logo is. And it's not blocking anything too important up there. League meetings. Only thing that gets approved is the clear path thing. Yeah. All right. Draft lottery. This is for Hakeem and Michael Jordan, if you do not know. Let's look at the odds. Apparently, these are the odds to win the top pick. I guess it was a 50-50 thing with the two worst teams in the league back then. I did not know this was a real thing. I did not know this is how this went. All right, so I use our good friend Google, and it says that the NBA never had only two teams in the lottery, but then it follows it up by saying the lottery system was implemented in 1985. So maybe next season this is not like this again. I don't. This is my first time doing this, so if this is how it is, then I guess this is how it is. I mean, people are still gonna have the third, fourth, fifth pick. I'd assume it just this is who fights for the first pick. Um, I guess we should watch who's gonna get the number 2 overall pick. The Bulls. Ooh. So that means that the number 1 pick goes to the Bullets. Okay, the Warriors get 3, Pacers 4, Kings 5. All right. The Bulls most likely are not getting their guy. They are not going to get their guy. We're going right to the draft, man. This is some stuff that, like, I'm probably going to simp through a lot of this because we're not controlling any of this. None of this has anything to do with us. NBA draft. Let's see. I'm putting it on automatic and I am letting it run. Michael Jordan is a Washington Bullet, which is funny because he obviously ended up playing for the Wizards, but the Chicago Bulls, okay, the Chicago Bulls at least get Akeem. Golden State Warriors, Chase Timmerman, okay. Indiana gets John Stockton. All right. John Stockton's going up to Indiana. Kevin Willis. We're probably only going to watch the first 5 picks of each draft, unless it's like a super loaded draft. Oops, let me not. Hold on, I did not want to. So I want to sim to end. Let's see what else we got. So Michael Jordan comes in at an 85. Probably he's a top 20 player right off the bat. Same with Akeem. John Stockton's even an 80. Kevin Willis, Sam Perkins goes to the Rockets. Okay. They got someone. They don't have Akeem to play next to Ralph Sampson, but they got Sam Perkins, who was originally, I believe, the 2nd overall pick to the Blazers. Michael Cage, Otis Thorpe, some names that we recognize. Jerome Kersey, played for the Blazers. All right, we've got some more players. Again, I don't know how great some of these older draft classes are. So some of this stuff at the beginning, again, might be iffy until we get to like the 90s, even 2000s. But we're going to make it work. Rookie signing, everyone gets signed. I'm not controlling that. Let's see. Entire league. Nothing. It wasn't really a thing, I guess. There are qualifying, okay. No team is giving any of these guys qualifyings, okay? Probably because they're all 60 overalls. I believe I don't have yeah. I've got all this for CPU. I've got all that for CPU. So that has nothing to do with me. Let's check out free agency. Any names? Jim Paxson, he was for the Blazers. Yeah, he got hurt for a while there. How many games did he end up playing? Only 52. Some names for sure, but nothing that really jumps off the page. We'll just go right to player progression, and we'll look. All right, so some guys getting worse in Denver. Dolph Shays, is that who that is? Danny Shays. Dolph Shays, I think, would played way before then, but we're just gonna look again real quick to see if anything jumps off the page. Isaiah, 94. I never actually realized how young Isaiah was. He came in pretty young. You didn't see a lot of 19 or 20-year-old rookies back then. Look at that. Is this Craig Elo? Craig Elo jumps up 5, the biggest jump we've seen so far. This team probably going to be in the towards a top 10 pick again next year, if I had to assume. This team as well. Gilmore getting worse. Garvin's going to start dropping soon. Probably going to need to get him out of there. That might be a trade that goes down. Drop by 3 from Molucas. Jump by 5, another 5-point jumper. Okay. 7 for Clyde. Okay, Clyde's gonna get there now. He's gonna take that jump. Even Fat Lever jumped by 5 after his sophomore season. Might be a duo in the NBA that we got to look out for. Even Calvin Nat is still here. He's on a 4-year deal. And Sleepy Floyd jumped after his sophomore season. Dr. J's dropping. Makes sense. He's 34. Nothing crazy there. Jeff Malone jumped up. Didn't jump up enough because they got this guy right here who's going to be starting over him. This team has Akeem. This team not going to be great. Who did they draft? Mel Potter with the 10th overall pick. Larry Bird's dropping already. Robert Parrish is dropping. Not what you like to see. Danny Ainge. There you go. Terry Cummings getting up. Okay. All right. 87 after a good first 2 seasons. Bill Walton just still here. Just shot 39% as a center. Dominique jumped and Doc jumped. That's nice. Team might be good in the future. Tree Rollins isn't really young, but he's serviceable. This team nothing crazy. Kansas nothing crazy. New York same as well. The decline of Kareem. Is that going to matter for LA? But they've got Byron Scott, who is jumping 5. Even James Worthy jumped 6. So now it's going to be his time to really start being that all NBA and all-star player that he turns out to be. Jay Vincent, okay. We see some Dale Ellis jumps. We see some Derek Harper jumps. Buck Williams jumped 2, and then we are back at the Denver Nuggets. And that was our preview of the league. The 1985 draft. Yep, we're gonna use that. And if you need a refresher, because I totally don't. I think is this Barkley? No, not Barkley. Charles Oakley, not Barkley. I don't know. Maybe he's later on. Patrick Ewing, Karl Malone, Xavier McDaniel was a good NBA player. Chris Mullin, obviously on Team USA. Joe Dumars was great. Charles Oakley, Detlef Schrempf. All right, we got some. Manute Bol, the 7'6", I guess, demon. Terry Porter was a player. Again, I don't recognize a lot of these guys, but it's whatever. Oh yeah, we're gonna simulate our second season, 1984-85 season. We've got our first big trade. Seattle's, I think, just outside of the playoffs. But the Spurs are also out. I think one of the worst teams in the league. This team doesn't have a lot. Maybe we see Artis Gilmore go as well. But this team just not great. George Gervin's old. He shouldn't be not old, but he's older. He's 32. He's still averaging 24, but although instead of Gus Williams, they got to give up something young that they would care about. So I got to restructure this real quick. So they actually, instead of giving up Gus, who's an older guy, which it would be counterproductive to just put an old guy back on this Spurs team, we're going to give him the 23-year-old John Sunvold, who we saw took a six or seven overall jump. He's got some promising career ahead of him. They get the first round pick for next season, not this season, because I don't. The Seattle wouldn't give up their pick this year because, well, one is better, but they also still very well could be a low seed after this trade. So this is kind of more for the future because you look Jack Sikma's 4-year deal, Gus Williams 3-year deal, Tom Chambers 2 years, David Thompson 2 years, or sorry 4 years, and they're kind of missing the shooting guard. Like Fred Brown's an old guy. This guy's young, doesn't play a lot. And George Gervin's got 3 years left on that deal. So that puts him right in the timeline for these guys to compete. So George Gervin, Seattle, these teams have made a deal. Again, they are the 10th seed, but George Gervin slides so nice in that shooting guard spot to where this team might be a problem. Maybe not this year, but next year for sure. George Gervin's former teammate out the door, like we were talking about. This Bucks team is a 3 seed, and they don't have a center. They really don't. They've had this guy Al Harris being it, and he's been fine. I mean, 8, 5, and 1.5, or you can get 8, 8, 2.5, a better player. It's going to cost you the Bucks. It's going to cost them their first round pick, but again, they are the 3rd seed, but they are getting a second back in return. These are kind of for contract reasons. Yeah, and I don't I mean, there was a world where they give up more, but, Artis Gilmore's 36. He is on a long-term deal, I will say, which is why they are getting a second in return because, again, he is 36 and he is about to be making 600K, which is a lot for this time period. So, he will fit in nicely over there. And that is our second trade. Um, Again, their point guard, not technically great, but if they're being honest, they can just kind of start Paul Pressey and slide Sidney Moncrief to the one because that's kind of what he is in this. So I'm going to make that change for them. His overall doesn't change either. So they're going to have Sidney Moncrief, Paul Pressey, Marquez Johnson, Lister, and Gilmore. And again, they are the third seed. So those are the trades. I mean, and you're going to ask CPU trades. No, not really. Some super small ones, but that was our team that had their fire sale. We're going to go to All-Star. We did our trades. We're good. Kareem's still making the All-Star team because he's still playing great. Yeah. 3 Celtics. I mean, Isaiah, 12 assists as well. Larry Bird was probably All-Star Game MVP, only missing one shot. But yeah, we are going to simulate to the end of the season. Back-to-back MVPs for the Magic, man. Michael Jordan. Holy moly. I keep forgetting I got to move so you guys can see the awards. So this is MVP. Rookie Michael Jordan. 27. Did he had to have made the All-Star game, right? No, he didn't, but we are spoiling some things by looking at that. John Drew, 6th man of the year. I think it's 6th player of the year, not 6th man, 6th player of the year. Wow, those are some pretty good stats there. Tree Rollins, defensive player of the year, okay. James Worthy, most improved. Yeah, he took a jump. We saw that in his overall. He's even jumped more during the season. And then the Lakers still won 70 games. Celtics 65. Michael Jordan, all NBA first team as a rookie. He was a rookie. Take what you want to look. All defensive first team as a rookie. That is insane work, man. I wonder what Hakeem averaged. Sorry, Hakeem. 18-9, 2.5 blocks. I can't believe he didn't make it. Like, what did... I think he probably could have made it over Moses. John Stockton, 9 assists in his rookie year. Jerome Kersey. Yeah. All right. Playoffs. We've got okay, Houston is in the playoffs. Okay. All right. Who did we trade George Gervin to? So Seattle is the 8th seed, but remember, they are looking more towards their future. They got another year or two window with those guys. So I think that's going to matter a lot. Let me change this back so we get full screen here. Portland's still good. Anything on the other side that nothing really. Philly fell off a little to where they got to play Detroit in the first round, but let's simulate the round. All right. Any real upsets? I mean, Golden State beat Denver. Houston swept Utah. Okay. Maybe we got Philly beat Detroit. Oh, we've got some upset alerts. Let's see what these All right, we got to look at this game first. Craig Eli. This team is not that good. Ralph Sampson had to have dogged in that first round, right? 20 and 11? Not really. I mean, just kind of an all-arounder. Where's Craig Elo at? Or was Craig Elo not on this team? He might not have been on this team. I thought he was, though. Is he not on this team? Maybe I was looking at a different name. Oh, is he on the Warriors? Is that what I was looking at? No, he's there. Why is he not in the box scores? Did I just look over him, or did he not? Maybe he just literally didn't play. Was he hurt? He just didn't play. All right. Sure. And let's check out what happened in this Philly series to where Detroit gets upset. Moses dogged. Wow. Julius still did his thing. Okay. I assume not a lot of help. 8 points, 13 rebounds. Isaiah, they just lost. All right. Obviously, then we see some not really too surprising things. LA has still been perfect since the last playoffs. Philly wins again. And Houston is Houston. I mean, this is a great run, but I think you guys are out of luck if I would have to assume. Same with Philly. Philly took a game. Philly took 2 games. LA still has not lost. They are 15, 18, 22, 26 and 0 in the playoffs. Boston goes up. Game 7. We've got a simcast. This is a big game. Is the LA Boston rivalry going to stay alive? We've got to look. Does Philly have some things to say? Up 5. Up about 8 with going into the 4th. Boston looks like they've got control of this one. All right. What happened in this game 7? Bird and McHale did their thing. Moses tried. Julius tried, but they had no one else helping. All right. And it's back. Lakers look a little better. James Worthy's a real player now, and they swept them last year. Same roster for Boston as the last year. Simulate through game. Still perfect. Magic Johnson had a 13-20 game. Didn't shoot great, but he had a 13 and 20 game while 3 different players dropped 20 for the Lakers. And it was a close game. Let's see. The Lakers are doing their thing. Kareem had a crazy game. Magic Johnson is going insane, man. 3-0. 3-0. Magic is going crazy. The Lakers are 30 and 0 over the past 2 playoffs. Magic, again, here are his stats: 18, 10, 15, and 3 steals. Not as efficient. I don't know if you guys remember, but last year's finals, he shot almost 70% from the field. I wonder if that is 3-pointers kicking in, or just didn't have a great series. No, just didn't have as efficient of a series as he did last year. All right. Player retirements. Elvin Hayes, legend, retired. Hasn't played, or he didn't play this year. Nope. Bob Lanier. He's an 80 overall. He still had a good season. I think this might be one that we veto. There has never been another Antetokounmpo in the league. Why Jared Antetokounmpo? They just really giving people names. George Johnson, 72, probably won't get a job. I'll let that go. Caldwell Jones, he's got another year on his deal. He was solid. I'm gonna say no. Sure, sure. Swinator. Jared Dudley. Hey, you're about 30 years early, but hey, hi. All right. No, really, Stav. Elvin Hayes, Hall of Famer, of course. Actually, I wonder. I don't know if you guys remember, but Elvin Hayes was third on all time scoring. I wonder where we're at with that. Let's see. Elvin Hayes is still third. Kareem took the reins as all time leading scorer. He probably did that early in the year, I would assume, because he's about 1,200 points. He probably did that, the first 30 games of the year. So shout out to Kareem, our all-time leading scorer. We can check some of these things. I don't know if any of them has been broken. Remember, we are looking for anything from 1983 and earlier. 3-pointers made 8 in a game is kind of crazy. This is we're gonna get beat at some point. Nothing really here. I don't think any of our awards really got beaten. Oh, Mark Eaton, 13 blocks. This was the first season. So shout out to Mark Eaton. This was the first season. This was last year. Shout out to Elmore Smith going crazy, man. That's really it. All right. Jersey retirements, nothing really there. Historic changes. All lottery picks will be done via a weighted random draw. Okay, so that does change. Good. All lottery teams will have equal odds. Okay, I wonder what that means. Relocate to Sacramento. That's big. Uniforms for the Bulls, uniform for Lakers, uniform for Denver. All right. League meetings. This is pretty much the same thing, just actually approving it all. All right, draft lottery. Let's see. So this was like Patrick Ewing. This was Karl Malone's draft. This was there's another big time player in here that I'm forgetting about, but the lottery's still only 7 teams and everyone has equal odds. Is that one of the things? Yeah, so this year and next year that will be like that. And then it changes a little bit from 87 to 89, and then 90 it gets to kind of how we a little familiar at least. So again, these first 5 years, the lottery is going to look a little weird, but nonetheless, let's check out the lottery. We can watch all this because anyone could get this. So Cavaliers, all right, they had that's their second year in a row. I think they had 10 last year. So that's unfortunate. Okay, Spurs drop. That sucks when you trade away George Gervin and Artis Gilmore. The Bulls 5th. Okay, they're probably we'll see who they pair up with. Akeem. LA, sure. Then actually the LA Clippers, the new Sacramento Kings. Let's get the 3rd pick. All right. I don't know who the 1st and 2nd pick is in between. But we'll see. The Knicks and the Suns. Okay. So 2. All right, we'll see how this goes. The number 1 pick goes to the Phoenix Suns. There you go, Phoenix. Let's see, who else is in this? Patrick Ewing, Karl Malone. Oh, so it is kind of you want to be in the top 2, if we're being honest. Let's see who they take first. I would assume Patrick Ewing, but you never know. Let's make this automatic. Karl Malone. Okay, Karl Malone is a Phoenix Sun, and the New York Knicks take Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing was only 6'8" to take Patrick Ewing. Chris Mullin, another very great NBA player. Wayman Tisdale, okay. Excuse me. Chicago. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I am not here to tell people no. It looks like they're giving up a good package. If they want Clark Kellogg and Jerry Seasting, they can take Clark Kellogg and Jerry Seasting. The Chicago Bulls have made a trade. They're trying to accelerate the timeline. They know they got Akeem. They're trying to accelerate the timeline a little. Joe Dumars would have been nice to pair alongside Akeem, though. I will say Xavier McDaniel goes to Sacramento, or not Sacramento, San Antonio, excuse me. And then Blair, I don't know how to say that name. So we're just going to simulate, see who else we missed. Maybe Detlef Schrempf, okay, goes to Seattle. Charles Oakley goes to Houston. So he's alongside Ralph Sampson. I believe they drafted Sam Perkins last year, so that's kind of interesting that they take a 4 and back-to-back. One of the best names of all time in Hot Rod Williams. Where is he from? Okay. Terry Porter. Manute Bol is a Hawk. Some of these guys that are going under. Spud Webb is a Celtic, man. The 5'7" demon, Spud Webb. There you go. That's how you do it. Let's see what team options. People still not picking it. Okay, there are some getting picked up. So again, it's not me. Qualifying. Some players are qualifying, but let's see. Free agency. I don't know if this is a big one or not, but we're gonna take a check. Nope, Jim Paxson is back. Eddie Johnson, Bob Lanier, who's an old guy. Nothing too crazy in back-to-back years. We will check out teams as we go through player progression. Akeem, 5 overall jump. Big time for Akeem. He's going to be one of the best players in the league very, very soon. This Cavs team hasn't been able to do too much yet. They still got World Be Free sitting here playing amazing. This team we just saw drafted Spud Webb. Again, a little old. Gerald Henderson's starting to creep out. But their big 4 up here is all good, fine. Ricky Pierce is here. We got Terry Cummings still getting better. He had a good season again last year. Dominique Kolb, Doc Rivers jumping up 4. See, we need to see that PPG jump. For being honest, the assists are cool, but you got to get the scoring. We got Donovan Wright. I don't know who that is, but maybe that's just me being a casual. Maybe he's an auto-generated guy. Thurl Bailey seems getting worse. They might have missed their kind of gap because they were a good team last year. They got upset, if I remember correctly. Kevin Willis, the 5th overall pick from last year. Yep. Bernard King, Magic. James Worthy's still getting better while Kareem drops, but Byron Scott rises. So good for them. Bob McAdoo. Their center rotation is old, man. 33-year-old Bob McAdoo and 38 Kareem. This team's getting good. I wouldn't be surprised if this team starts to make a little bit of noise coming up here. They got some guys on the rise. They still got Mark Aguirre up top. He's got 3 years left. Jay Humphreys goes up. This team is kind of stuck in the middle a little bit. It looks like Denver's looks like they might be on a similar way to Utah, to where they might miss their window just because of how great the team is. John Stockton up 5 big time. Isaiah is one of the best players in the league at a 96 overall. Ralph Sampson up. Who did they draft last year? Yes, they did draft Sam Perkins, and he didn't look the worst. I guess 40% from 3. How many attempts though? 2 for 5. Interesting. Wonder what they're gonna have here because they got a nice big rotation there. This team, wow, big jump from Jared Holland. He was the 9th overall pick last year. This guy's still going up by 3. Johnny Moore, they've got a good point guard rotation for sure. Maybe a couple too many point guards. This team was not great. They just had the first overall pick. Carmel. I keep looking for like 19 and 20-year-olds. I got to keep remembering that's not how players come in at this time. He's probably going to have an amazing rookie season, man. George Gervin. This team's going to be good. This team is going to be good, man. They were good they weren't that great last year, but Clyde Drexler 91. Okay, good scoring jump. Fat Lever's getting better too. Who was down here? Alton Dixon. Okay. Chase Timmerman. He was their third overall pick last year. He had a good rookie season, man. Don't know a lot about him, but up 7's one of the biggest jumps we've seen. Up 7 again for Raymond Mason. This team might have a guy in the up and coming, while Dr. J is falling off slowly here. This team got some good players. Look like again they might be stuck in the middle a little bit. Michael Jordan, 90 overall officially. They got Gary Simmons on the up and up with them as well. This team doesn't look too bad around a young Michael Jordan. It's not very old, so I like that. Michael Jordan's going to have probably going to make a little bit of a playoff run, I would assume. And then we're back at the Chicago Bulls. We are going to do one more season, most likely, for this episode, 1986 draft. We will preview that right now. This is Brad Daugherty. This is Chuck Person, Ron Harper, Mark Price, Arvydas Sabonis, Dennis Rodman, Del Curry, Scott Skiles, who probably won't get his assist record in this league, but Jeff Hornacek. Sorry, we're filling out the NBA. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. I'm gonna get us, you know the drill. I am gonna get us to the All-Star break trade deadline area, and I will be back. All right, we got a trade. Wobie Free is finally getting set free. To play alongside Doc Rivers and Dominique Wilkins. Shooting guard spot was a little open. I mean, Johnny Davis was here, but 12 points, 18. Obviously a talent upgrade. They're giving up a young guy right here in Scott Hastings, and 2 second-round picks, just because he's older. Maybe not as valuable as some of the other players that we traded, but it's going to be a good trade. I think it's going to work out for the Hawks. They don't give up a first, and they get a talent upgrade. And now their 5 looks good. They're the team that drafted Manute, so they got Manute off the bench. So they got things to look forward to over there. But we get to All-Star. That's really the only trade we're going to make. We did have one. It's not very big, but this right here, Robert Reed in a second for TR Dunn. They were like 80 and 78 overall. All the other trades, like low 70s, high 60s. There's no point in really showing you those. Let's get to All-Star. We are going to look at our All-Star participants. Michael Jordan, first guy on the list. We'll look at stats afterwards, of course. Reggie Diaz, Clark Kellogg are the last 2 here. West, Magic still at the top. 3 Lakers, 2 Blazers. Ralph Sampson is here. Rolando Blackman and Jack Sikma. Pretty good dunk on Michael Jordan dunk contest. Clyde Drexler, that would be nice. 3-point contest. Jerry Stockton. I saw Jerry Seasting earlier, and I got confused. Rookie game, we know how this goes. Well, again, we'll look at all that stuff when we get to the awards at the end of the season. 3 in a row for the guy Magic, man. 28-12. Rookie of the year, Karl Malone. We knew he was going to have a good season. That team was not very good. Hot Rod Williams, 6th man of the year. He's a rookie. That's a very good season from a rookie, man. He would be, if he was starting, he would be fighting Karl Malone, man, for that rookie of the year. Defensive player of the year already in year 2. JP Goodrich, most improved. All right. 68 win Lakers, 68 win Lakers. Yep. Magic, we saw his numbers. Isaiah's still up here doing his thing, 25 and 10. Larry's still up here doing his thing, 23. You can see his numbers dipping a little bit, though, of course. Dominique, 28 and 8. Moses still up here doing his thing. No Michael Jordan on the first team, though. Second team, he's right there. It's about similar numbers. Similar, pretty, actually, he's pretty much the same across the board, even efficiency. John Stockton, 16 and 11. Karl Malone, second team as a rookie. James Worthy doing his thing. And Hakeem, second team as well. Defensive team, this makes sense. Makes Patrick Ewing as a rookie. Another good rookie season, man. Let's see what Clyde do this year. 19. All right. We saw those guys. Hot Rod, we saw Xavier McDaniel. Look at this. This is a good rookie class. It's a good rookie class. Charles Oakley even down here. Come on off the bench, man. All right. Here are our playoffs. Maybe Seattle made a mistake making the George Gervin trade. What happened to them? Let's see if we can find them. 9 and 5. They just missed out. Not great. George Gervin getting worse. They gave up their pick for this year. Scary thing when you want to get better, that sometimes you got to make that sacrifice, and might bite them. Might bite them hard. Chicago in the playoffs. Washington, Hakeem and Jordan doing their thing in the playoffs already. Chicago eliminated, and hey, he made it. Good for him. Michael Jordan eliminates. Okay, Michael Jordan eliminated Philly. Yeah, what he do in his first playoff series? 24. Okay, super efficient. Almost 70% is insane. Phoenix, Karl Malone as a rookie. Can't ignore it. Cannot ignore what he is doing. That's really it, though. No real upsets. Let's simulate round. Okay. Uh-oh. Lakers down 3-0. 3-1. Lakers eliminated in the second round. What happened here? Oh, Magic. Oh, fractured his right arm. That'll do it. That will certainly do it. All right. We are going to have a new champion here. Is it going to be Portland? Who, again, no crazy trades, but they're just playing good? Or Terry Cummings and the Clippers? Or is it going to be, are the Pistons finally going to be able to beat the Celtics in in the KBA? We got a game 7. Game 7 in the conference finals. We haven't been able to jump in yet. I would love to be able to jump in just to watch some of these guys, man. We're not going to be able to watch these guys forever. But again, we're not watching for 6 minutes. It's got to be close down to the wire. Pistons got to do a little bit more scoring. Not gonna get not this year. Maybe we will see some Larry Bird in the NBA Finals, but Bird 24 just wasn't enough. All right, we got a Clippers Celtics. So still an LA battle for the Celtics, but they're going against their friend Bill Walton. I guess not a friend. He never joined them in this world. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Is LA still going to be crowned champions? Uh-oh. LA is sweeping. Boston gets swept in the finals for the third year in a row. Third year in a row, and Norm Nixon, 13 and 12, is your finals MVP. Wow, the Clippers. That's big time, man. That is big time. That's where we're going to end off today's episode. We will get to draft and free agency all in next episode, which should be out tomorrow morning. But again, leave suggestions. Leave suggestions. I mean, I'm all ears for anything. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so we can a lot of people can get out to the KBA and watch as we expand the league. Thank you for watching, and make sure you subscribe.